How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to Salvage Auto Rebuilds, where today we are continuing on a couple of projects that we've got in the shop, guys. So yeah, where do we start? Well, I think probably over here in a paint booth, because today is the day we are going to be painting the old Lexus IS 300. And yeah, guys, we have decided on a color, and it is going to be, well, this yellow over here. So I actually had a little bit of a look around at some color codes, and I decided that this is the color code we are going for. It's DADA00, which I think is going to look pretty nifty on this car. So I think we're going to start with this, going to jump straight into it, because there's a couple of other things we're also going to take care of today. So as you can see, I've actually upgraded the shop a little bit more here in the paint booth. We've got some more paint stations. This one actually goes over there. Alright, it's just a little bit tricky getting these things onto there, but okay. So we've got this shelf now for clear coat and primer. This one will be for additional colors, because yeah, it looks like I've got a little bit of a problem when it comes to buying paint and kind of hoarding all of the paint. So yeah, we are going to be painting this car up in this yellow. And we're going to start roundabout over here. And yeah, look at that. That is definitely going to look pretty nifty. So I was thinking of sending this thing over to Middletown for a paint job, but I think we'll do pretty well here, guys. So this is going to hopefully work out and look good. Alright, so I think let's cue a little bit of music while I do this, and we get this thing painted up nicely. And then we will carry on with the next part of our job for today. Alright, guys, I think that is job done. So we managed to get this thing painted up pretty well. It looks pretty good, so it's going to have to sit and cure for a bit. And once again, we only used the one can of paint, so yeah, that was just me being a little bit, you know, a little bit overprotective, if we can call it that. Yeah, making sure we've got enough paint. Alright, so we are going to leave this thing to sit here and cure. Come to think of it, I've actually got some more paint work to do. We've got some panels ready for Phantom's truck. I've actually ordered some new ones. I did track down a bed as well for the truck, but it's still on its way. So it's my old buddy Charger, aka Holger, the guy who usually does all of my engines rebuilds for me. He's actually had a bed sitting around that is going to fit this truck, and he made a little bit of a suggestion that we buy it off of his hand. So yeah, we are still waiting for the bed to come, but I think what we're going to do today is we're going to be painting this truck. I might have to remove all of the, you know, interior and such, and make sure we don't get any paint on those. And I don't know if the engine, yeah, we're going to try and see if we can not paint the engine. and then just get this thing painted up. We've got a couple of other things that I can actually put together as well on the truck, but yeah, we've got some more panels over here to paint, and there's the paint over there. I actually forgot we need to just bring our compressor out, because now, yeah, just going to keep that door closed for the Lexus so that we don't get overspray on that freshly painted paint job, you know. And then we're going to also come and just paint the truck over here. Alright, so I think let's do a little bit of prep work on this first of all. Where's our toolbox? It's still over here. And yeah, we've got a crap ton of stuff to do on the Coronet as well. As for the 68 charger, that is going to be put on the back burner for a bit, guys. We've got a lot of work to carry on with. Alright, so let's see if we can quickly strip out the interior and just also get everything off the truck. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good still. So yeah, I decided we're going to stick with the original color that he's got on the truck, guys. It's going to look pretty nifty with the stuff I'm going to be doing to it. The window lifter is still decent. We are missing the glass in this door. I don't think there's any glass at all, obviously, because yeah, this thing was bashed up quite badly. And you may also notice we've got some lifted leaf springs. So yeah, those are also going to be going on the truck. And I'm also going to be getting him a new set of wheels and tires, which are going to look a little bit better than the old stock Steelies. And that's just going to give this truck a little bit more character and look a little bit better, in my personal opinion. Right, once again, I don't think we've got any glass in here, so this is just going to come out. The window lifters, window cranks, they still look pretty good. Alright, so we can definitely reuse those. Let's just check for some glass in this door. Nothing. Okay. Alright, I don't know why I just slammed the door shut in my face, but okay, we're going to take out the bench seat. Alright, come around this way. Alright, this is also what holds the carpet down, so gonna rip the bench seat out. Alright, and then take the carpet out. Just like that, put it nice and out of the way. Same with this. Let's just move this over here. Okay, bench seat is still looking good, and so does the carpet. I don't know if the carpet may have sustained some damage, you know, on the sides, but it looks kind of straight. Right, next up, let's take the old gear stick out. I don't think really the paint's going to go this far, but you never know. And that way we can also inspect this. Okay, so that is good. And we've got our screwdriver next for the dashboard. Alright, let's just go ahead and remove that as well. Alright, there's the dashboard free. Okay, next up is going to be the headliner. Alright, let's just put this down over here. Alright, yeah, dashboard still looks good. Okay, let's come over here. We're going to take off the rear view mirror. Alright, 2 screws there. Let's just drop that down and grab the headliner. Alrighty, so there's the headliner, guys. We've got the headliner out. It still looks good as well. So I'm quite happy with that. And then now last but not least, steering column. I think that has to come out as well. Where did I go with the rear view mirror now? It's probably around here somewhere. Just gotta get everything out of the truck. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's just take that out as well. Alright. So all of Phantom's interior actually looks pretty good, and I think it's going to still suit the paint job pretty nicely, the green. So yeah, we're gonna stick with that. Alright, let's come over here. We're gonna remove the steering column. And maybe the windscreen wipers are also gonna come off, because that's also gonna be in the way of our paint job. Alright, let's just put this... Whoops. Okay, I wanted to put it upright like this. There we go. Alright, looking good. So that is now all of the interior. As I said, we need to just take these off as well. Alright, come on. There we go. Alright, so this is, yeah, still in very good condition. And so should this one be, because it looks like everything has been replaced on this truck not too long ago. Alright, and same story with this one. Still in very good condition, so we can still reuse that. Alright, let's just put our wrench back in there. Alright, so I think everything is stripped off and we should be good to paint this cab. I actually come to think of it, we could actually remove the cab from the truck. I mean, that way we don't risk painting the engine. So I think let's go ahead and do this. In order to take the cab off, we need to loosen up this bolt. which actually reminds me of something, guys. We'll go and do that in a couple of seconds or a minute or two. All right, so let's first of all take our cap off. All right, and go around this side. Just take these off as well, and then up, and here we go. All right, so this cap, we can bring this a little bit closer, then we can paint everything over here. Just be careful with this thing. Yeah, these are a little bit hard to handle sometimes, but okay, there we go. So the cab is now here, and we can probably just shift it a little bit straight. There we go. All right, so now that the cab is off and the frame is exposed, now we can have a quick look at this. Yeah, nothing else seems to be wrong with this truck, guys. It's, as I said previously, mechanically sound. There's no mechanical issues on the truck. It's just the bodywork that needs to be addressed, and that is currently what we are busy with. So I think let's jump to it. We're going to be painting that cab real quick. We just got to, come on, put our wrench there. All right, so let's start with this. I've got 2 cans of paint once again. We still need to paint the bed once the bed gets here, but we've got a couple of parts that we need. All right, okay, so starting with our tailgate over here, I think we can do this. Yeah, let's just move that over there for now. All right, move this here, and now it sucks that we don't have our paint booth for this, but you know what? It's fine. I think we'll manage either way. All right, let's quickly go ahead and spray all of these parts, guys. Got another little bit of music that we can cue for this. So let's get this sorted out, and then we will see what is going to be next up for us over here in the shop today. Alrighty guys, I think that is good enough. So all of these parts have been painted now, and as I said, we're still waiting for the box to come from our buddy Charger, and I might have to buy a little bit more paint because it looks like I used quite a bit of the paint, and that's just how it goes sometimes. So hopefully little Lewis will be able to match the paint again for us so that it actually, works out at the end of the day. And we don't have any troubles with that. So now that this is done, guys, there's not really a whole lot that I can carry on with. We could probably change the leaf springs real quick, one at a time. And maybe assemble the grill, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to go on the grill here. So I think let's maybe start with this. Yeah, we're gonna probably need a screwdriver for everything. Okay, so let's do this real quick. We're gonna start with the grill. All right, put this down over here. Let's grab the lamp trim. I think this is the right hand side, yeah. All right, I can't remember. I think those just pop into place. There's no screws securing those. Okay, so that looks good. Which actually, you know what? I need to do the headlights first, because it's going to be a bit of a bear to get those screws for the headlights if we don't do those first. Okay, so let's get some bulbs into these. All right, pop that one into there and there. Okay, then we can do the two headlights first. All right, let's just do the other one. Just like that. Okay, let's zip it down. Okay, and then we'll do this one. Here we are. Okay, now these can go back in. Looking pretty good. And next up would be the blinkers. Okay, so let's get our blinkers sorted with some light bulbs. All right, so 2 of those. Okay, so that box is empty now, finally. Yeah, I started using my half boxes. All right, so this is the right blinker, which will go into that side. Okay, and let's get this one into there. Okay, come on, just get in there. All right, and now we've got 2 screws on these. All right, 2 on that one and 2 on the other one. Right there. All right, so that is the grill pretty much assembled now. So we are good to go. This can actually go on, because we don't need to paint there again, because all of our parts are going to be painted off the truck. So I can go ahead and get this thing mounted, and then that'll be sorted. So the other parts, like the trims and the bedside trims and stuff like that, is going to come a little bit later on. The taillights are also going to go into the bed once the bed gets here, and also could probably just put those 2 light bulbs in this taillight, because the one taillight was still good on the truck. We had to get a new one for the right hand side, so now at least it's got some new bulbs in, and this one should also still have decent bulbs in it. All right, and then we've got the 2 door mirrors here in the meantime. You're just gonna have to kick around, and then as for these, I wonder if they actually mount to the grill as well. Doesn't look like it. I don't see any mounting point for those. So those will probably go on the bumpers, which we will get the bumpers. Although I was actually wondering about the bumper that we have, if it'll work on this truck. I'm not too sure. This was actually the bumper that we had with our old truck here, guys. I did do a little bit of repairs to it. So this is a push bar bumper. I'm not too sure if Phantom would like this, but I don't know. It's not really the theme that I'm going for as yet. We will still decide. So yeah, we'll see, guys. I'll figure it out. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do next is we're going to see if we can get these leaf springs removed, the old ones, because we are giving this bad boy a little bit of a lift here, and just going to see if it's going to work out. All right, so let's come and undo all of these. Right, now, before I take off the last one, let me just get this over here. All right, just give it a little bit of support so that this thing doesn't come tumbling down. All right, let's do this. All right, that should work. All right, where's my wrench now? It's over here. Okay, let's do this last bolt. Which is this one over here. Okay, getting this out. All right, now we can mount the high one, just like this. Alright, I might have to check out if there's something going on here. It looks like there's probably a little bit of damage there still. Don't know if it's something we can fix with the hammer. Let's give it a little bit of a whirl. Just want to see what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know. It looks weird. Might have to take a nice look at that off camera later, guys. But I think for now, let's just carry on with what we can. Get our leaf springs all zipped down. Okay, that looks good, and that looks good. All right, let's go over to the other side. All right. Let's move this over here. Let me just get it lined up with this beam again. All right, just a little bit of support so that it doesn't, you know, when we take the leaf spring off, it's gonna obviously lower down. All right, so that might just hold it into place again. Okay, getting these bolts off. Come on, there's one more back there. All right, so there's the other leaf spring. And now we're going to go ahead and pop this one in. Just like this. Zip it down. All right, so now the truck is currently squatted, which is definitely not what I'm aiming for here, guys. We're going to see if we can get this thing looking pretty nifty with the lift kit or lifted leaf springs. All right, let's lower that back down. And now I'm going to try and see if I can do the similar thing here at the back. I might have to line it up with this beam. Yeah, I think that should hopefully get it. All right, give it a little bit of support here. All right, then let's see under here. Okay, there. There's one there, and then there's the 4 over here, which, okay, this is going to be a little bit easier from the top. Okay, let's take this off. Okay, put that side. Let's just grab this one. Okay, there we go. Got it in, and it's going to give us a little bit of a bounce. There we are. All right, and zip that up. Okay, so that is 3 down, 1 to go. All right, let's go over to the other side for the last one. And just give this thing its total lift. All right, line it up with this beam again over here, which is a little bit more this way. All right, lift it up. All right, just gonna probably not touch it because now we've replaced 3 out of the 4 already, so should probably stay put. Okay, then we'll get this one off. All right, so yeah, there's another thing I forgot again. All right, but we'll go and sort that out here in a second. All right, let's just get these zipped down again. It gave us a bit of a jump there. All right, so those are all of the leaf springs replaced and looking pretty good, guys. I think we did pretty well so far on this truck. It's a slow process because we are waiting for parts and all that, but at the end of the day, once everything is sorted, this thing is going to look pretty nifty. As I said, bigger wheels and tires with some spacers, and then this thing is going to look a whole lot different than what it did when it got here. So yeah, I think everything else is fine here. I just have to check out what's going on here with this. Yeah, I don't know. It might be problems with the frame rails. Those might actually be something we'll have to replace, which is not a big problem, which is something we can actually do. So I'm going to see. Alrighty, guys. So now the thing that I actually forgot to do, this was actually 2 episodes ago already. Alright, let's just pop the hood on the Lexus here for a second. Alright, I forgot to tighten down this. There we go. Alright. How are we still doing on brake fluid? Yeah, brake fluid, yeah, looks a little bit low, so I'll have to top that up before we take this thing on a drive. Okay. But alright, we're just going to leave that to cure a little bit longer. We still got all of the parts for the Lexus over here. And as for the charger, as I said, that's just on the back burner for now, guys. So we've got a couple of things we can carry on with our Dodge Coronet, which is all of these body panels and stuff that we need to replace. So as you all know, this is going to be a rat style build. We're not going to be perfecting the car at all. It's just going to be rough as hell, and it's going to hopefully look good. Right, pry tool, there we go. Alright, so we're going to start with welding in a couple of panels on this thing. Should be able to get the floor in. Let's just get this thing lifted up so we can see what we are doing here. Alright, so this floor needs to go in. Just like that. And we're going to need ourselves a welding machine. Alright, so we're going to use our trusty old MIG welder here. Or trusty new MIG welder. So this one seems to be doing the job and working so far. Haven't had any issues with it as yet. Because the old one kept leaking its bottles empty. So it was a little bit of an issue. Alright, come on, let's just weld it up properly there. And over there. There's a crap ton of welds to do on this. Alright, but we just gotta take it one step at a time. Make sure we get everything welded back in. Alright, and back here we are still replacing the frame rail. Alright, and right over there. And right over there. The trunk floor is still good enough. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop this wheelhouse in, first of all. Brand new wheelhouse. As the old one was a little bit tired and rusty and full of holes. Alright, and one more over there. Alright, so that looks like it, guys. We've got most of the welds done. So now we can grab our left frame rail. This can go into there. Come on, let's just grab the damn thing. Okay. Weld this frame rail into place. Alrighty, and there we go. Alright, so that is sorted on that side, and we've got a couple more on this side. Alrighty, so I think we've got all of them so far. This also needs to go back on. Alright, let's just see where exactly this goes again. I think it's around about there. I think these arms might be in the way. I don't know if this is going to work too well, but okay. Seems to be doing the job. Couple of welds to just make sure of we're getting them all. Okay, that looks great. That looks good. I think we are getting there. Rear frame brace goes around the back here. We've got to weld that into place. Okay, there's a weld there. One over there. And then on this side we've got one over there. And there's another tiny little weld over there. Okay. Alrighty. So, there we go. That is that done. Let's get our shock support in. Which is all the way up there. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and burn this in. Alrighty. Yeah, so as I said, guys, this thing has got a lot of welds to take care of. And I think we've got that. Let me just see. There we go. Alright, that is all welded up now. So the last thing we need to still weld is probably this panel. The rest is all of the other parts that we need to bolt on. Okay, so let's go down a bit. Alright, so let's lower it all the way down. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, let's get this thing onto the car like such. And then, oops, let's grab this thing again. Alright, so we'll weld it up over there. Okay, there's another one over here. Alright, a couple more in the front here. And let's just check down here for some more. I think there's another one here we need to just weld up. Right over there. Alrighty, so that is hopefully all of them. I've got no idea. We'll see if we figure out if there's any more welds that we need to do, but I think that is it. Alright, oh, there's my other wrench. Yeah, I actually used this when I was stripping the suspension, because as you guys can see, we already got the new suspension put together, because I figured, well, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff to do today, and I would like to try and streamline it a bit, just make it go a little bit more smoothly for us. So that's why some of the work is already done. Alright, and here we go. We've got our battery tray in. Let's get our cables. Alright, cables. Let's just zip that down over there. Where did I put the battery? I think the battery's probably on the table there that I've allocated for this car. It's not brand new, but it's still in very good condition. Okay, so we'll get that bolted down right over there. And let's also do the negative for now. I think it should be fine. All right, because once we get the suspension in and everything can be put together, this thing should actually be able to fire up, guys. I'm quite certain of that. We'll see. The fuel tank might have a little bit of fuel in it still. All right, so let me just move this thing into the corner here. All right, let's start with this. We've got our old front shock absorbers, which can go back on. All right, same on this side. Also put that onto there. Okay, and then let's grab our suspension, but let's go up a bit. All right, so this is our front suspension cross member. Everything already assembled, guys. We're just going to go ahead and pop it in. And just zip everything down. Make sure this thing is nice and secure. And then we've got our shock absorber bolt. Okay, main brake line. Where did I put the main brake line? I think that's something I may have forgotten, but I do know I've got some backups over here. Let's quickly grab on before I forget about this. You know, me and brake lines, guys, we are so bad at this. All right, yeah, this is a backup one I've got laying around. All right, let's go ahead and pop this one in. Well, Murphy's Law, I'll probably find the other one here somewhere. We still need to order a new brake booster, but that's fine. We can still get to that. All right, let's just zip down these two as well. And okay, I've done that now. And we need to zip down this one. Okay, let's do the transmission. Or gearbox, whatever you'd like to call it. Okay, get that into place. All right, and then we still need to do these two. Upper control arms, they can go in here somewhere. We just got to find the sweet spot for it. All right, that is bolted down. And that is looking good. So everything is buttoned up nicely over there on that suspension. All right, let's go around to this side. All right, just find the sweet spot for this one. It's right over there. Okay, so looking good, guys. We've got the front suspension all assembled, with the exception of these, the torsion bars. So these are the lowering torsion bars that you get for these cars, guys. So I decided we are going to just slam this thing. I think it's going to look pretty nifty with the wheels that I've got planned for this, which are actually these. All right, so let's go ahead and mount them. It's going to be a little bit finicky getting it on here, but there we go. All right, so yeah, look at that. That is a very nice fit. It's not sticking out too far, and it's also not, yeah, it's a little bit under the arches, but it's nice. It's definitely a little bit of a different look. All right, next wheel can go on like this. We're just going to go ahead and bolt it down all the way. All right, so that one is on. Yeah, just look at that. Now, if that doesn't scream rat style, I don't know what does, guys. But okay, let's get our drive shaft in next. All right, get that onto there. All right, looking good. Let's grab our fuel tank. Get our fuel tank back on here. All right, and this has got 4 bolts on it, so just make sure we get all of those zipped down. We've even got the new exhausts here as well, ready to rock and roll. All right, let's zip this thing down. Okay, let's get our shock absorber in on this side. Right over there. We'll do this one. And then the leaf spring for this side. Let's just come around this way, zip that down. And now the axle can go in, guys, hopefully, without any problems. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, we'll just zip down the shock absorbers quickly. Let's get these U-bolts zipped down. All right, brake lines. And then these U-bolts over there. Alright, so that is all zipped down under here, guys. I think everything is nice and tight. Alright, so let's see. Wheels. Yeah, might as well go ahead and pop the real wheels on as well. Alright, let's just bolt it down all the way, because I don't think we're going to have to take these off again. Righty-ho, and let's grab this one. Alright, last wheel going on. Alright, so that is kind of the look that I was going for, guys. I think we nailed it. Alright, let's go ahead and get our radiator in next. Right, radiator is in. I wonder if there's any coolant in this thing. Because this is a part that I got from a donor vehicle in the junkyard. It might actually still have coolant in. Alright, let's see. Well, it's a brand new part that was on a donor vehicle. But okay, there's still some coolant in there. It's not topped off all the way, but it's okay. We can always fill it up a tad bit more. Alright, so now I think it's time for the engine. And then we'll do the interior quickly and then see if this thing is going to turn over once we put a little bit of oil in the engine. And there we go. Let me just sort out one quick thing here. Alright, just adjust the tension on the belt a bit. Alright, that looks good. Alright, now we should be able to get this thing into the car right here. Just like that. Okay, so now it's going to be a matter of tightening down all of these cables, starting with the alternator bolt, and we'll do the ground cable next, and then we'll do the 2 transmission bolts on this side. Yeah, look at that powerhouse, guys. Now, that was something I was a little bit concerned about, but it looks like it clears, so we are golden. Alright, let's go ahead and do the starter bolt and the 2 transmission bolts, and now I think it's time for the exhausts to go on. Alright, let's get our left hand side exhaust. Alright, get it under there. Yeah, that looks pretty mean. Alright, now we'll do the right hand side. Okay, let me just grab it like this. Alright, come on in under here. And just zip that down. Alright. Pretty good. Now, I wonder if this thing has got any oil in it. Yeah, doubtful. Okay, so charger didn't top it up with oil, so that's what I'm going to do real quick, and then yeah, we're going to see if this thing miraculously will fire up, because I didn't really pay too much attention to all of the stuff that we need to do. Still got to pop out all of the windows and get a little bit of, you know, some new glass installed and such, but I think it's almost safe to say this thing is getting close to done, guys. There's a little bit of interior work as well to do. And then this thing is pretty much as far as I want to go with it, really. Alright, so we're going to need, I think, 3 bottles of oil. Alright, let's just grab some over here from the shelf. Okay, do this, and I'll quickly top it up, guys. And then we're going to bring you guys back up to speed once this is filled up. And I want to see if this thing's going to fire up. Alright, so there we are, guys. We've got some oil in the engine, and I think it's going to be safe for us to try and turn the key now to see if this thing wants to fire up. I just wanted to do one last thing before I forget. I know the brake master cylinder is actually bad, but we're going to just see if it works. Alright, let's quickly get this thing off the lift, kind of, so that we can just push it back a tiny bit. I think the handbrake should still also be off, because we just recently installed the suspension. Alright, that should work. Alright, so let's quickly turn the key and see if it fires up now. Come on. Oh, wait a second. You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna need a fuel line. Okay, so let's come and steal the one from the charger here, because I don't have a fuel line for the Coronet now, because this fuel line went to the Lexus, and we're kind of just passing fuel lines around at the moment, so might as well go ahead and do this. Okay, so there's the fuel line. Okay, now let's try it again. Alrighty, so let's see what she does. Hopefully we've got gas in the tank. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Come on, come on. You can do it. There we go. Alright, let's just turn it off, guys, because I haven't topped up the coolant yet, but and I noticed we've got a flat tire over there. We're just going to have to air that one up, probably. The rest of them looks good. Okay, so let's quickly get our carpet and our seats back in. This thing doesn't have a gear shifter, which is also a bit of a problem. We'll borrow the one from the charger. I think it'll fit. Okay, so there's the carpet. We'll grab our driver's seat, which is miraculously in fairly decent condition. Okay, let's zip this one down. Alright, let's check the other one. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to push this thing back a little bit more for this door to open. Alright, come on. Why don't you want to move? Alright, I think we should be able to get this thing in from here now. And hopefully that will zip down. Alright, looking good so far. We've got our seats both back in the car. And I think we probably need to quickly air up that tire. The flat tire, I don't know why that one lost its pressure. Okay, we're going to grab this air compressor of ours. And I think we'll set it to 2.0 bars. That should be good enough. Alright, and now it's going to be a matter of finding this valve stem. Which is, that's a dummy one. I don't know where the real thing is. Alright, well, it's got to be around here somewhere. Alright, guys, it was a bit of a mission airing up the tire, but we finally got it aired up and looking pretty good. Alright, so I wonder now if this thing is going to fire up and run and drive. Alright, well, it sounds pretty good, but there's one thing I forgot to grab now from the charger, which is our, yeah, where's the wrench? Our gear stick. Alright, let's come and grab the one from the charger here. Am I going to be able to get in here? Should be able to. Alright, come on. Just get to it. There we go. Just leave it running a bit. Alright, come on, let's just get to it. There we go. Alright, let's see if this is going to work now. Alright guys, so yeah, I just quickly had to move all of the parts from Phantom's truck out of the way to get the Dodge Coronet out. But as you guys can see, it is running and actually sounding pretty good. So now, let's take this thing for a short little drive. I'm just worried that it might start overheating because we don't have a full radiator of coolant at the moment. But it seems to be running and driving pretty well. It's got a whole lot of power with that twin turbo engine. Yeah, this thing absolutely rips, guys. I'm not too sure if this was the best idea, you know, building something raggedy like this with such an overpowered engine. Alright, let's go back to the shop. I think this thing is definitely going to be quite a bit of a powerhouse. Yeah, well, I forgot to check something on the drive shaft. I wonder if all those bolts are nice and tight, but, well, it actually runs and drives, so I don't think we forgot those, but we never know. But alrighty guys, I think we're just going to park it right over here again, and I'm actually quite happy how this thing turned out. And if we just have a quick look at this thing, it looks like it's a rust bucket. It looks pretty bad. It's a rat style build, but those wheels definitely suit it. I actually think we made a good decision on this. I'm still missing the rear panel over here, the fascia with the taillights and stuff, so we're gonna see if we can get that and maybe some more headlights and a grille. But I don't know, the hood that's kind of beat up like this makes it look a little bit more interesting. And yeah, I don't know, maybe some windows, and I might get the dashboard because, yeah, we're going to need the cluster to monitor the temperatures and stuff like that, and how much fuel we've got left and all that. But I think this thing turned out to be pretty interesting. Let's just call it interesting, guys. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section, what do you guys think of the rat coronet? It's definitely something different from what I would usually do on the channel here in my shop. So yeah, it is what it is, and I think it's gonna look the way that it sits here, like it's one of those apocalyptic vehicles as well. Kind of got it running and used all sorts of parts, but under the hood, you can clearly see there's something definitely different going on there. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this thing. So we've got a lot of other work to carry on with in the next episode. It's going to obviously require a whole lot of parts for our Dodge Charger here, because this thing needs a new floor at the back. A couple of panels are missing. I took the trunk off as well. We need a new hood, fenders, inner fender, front radiator supports, and all of that. So yeah, that has still got a lot of work, a lot of stuff to do. Might go ahead and paint the clear coat on the Lexus off camera over the weekend sometime, guys. Just make sure this thing is ready for assembly on next week's episode, and see if we can get this thing buttoned up, and hopefully this is one we'll send to the auction once again, guys, because I've got a little bit of news about the 1958 Bel Air. So Phantom, the guy whose truck we are currently working on, was interested in the car, and I told him, well, I'm asking $75,000 for it, and he paid us up in cash, and we've got the car sent over to him. So yeah, that's what happened with the 1958 Bel Air, in case you guys were wondering. But I think this is going to be where I end today's episode, guys. It's a little bit shorter yet again than usual, but you know, it's a Friday and we want to get some other stuff done as well. So thanks so much for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will appreciate it very much. And then I will see you all in the next one. So cheerio for now.